of the week.
All right.
We'll take that. Thank you for joining us, Johnny
You
Z.
are welcome. Thank you for having me.
You need a nap?
Heck no, I haven't eaten yet. So I don't, once I eat,
Then
crash.
that's when you need the appetizer. Well, thank
Exactly.
you for joining us as well for KARE 11 News at noon. Since election night, a lot of eyes have been on the president-elect Donald Trump as he continues to make the picks for top government positions, many of them being seen as pretty controversial.
They are, and that's why I'm breaking down some of those latest picks, plus what a report from a House committee could mean for his Attorney General pick, former Representative Matt Gaetz.
And before we get into that, throughout the morning, we've been tracking some snow showers moving through the state. I know my dog was very upset when we walked out the door. She's not happy.
Nope. They're like, no, I'm not going. I'll go potty inside.
Right. I was like,
I
no.
know. Get the potty pads. That's what we do. I know. Wintertime is here. It hit hard this morning. Now we're not under the impact anymore, but we're still seeing some flurries out there. Now it's just turned to cold. I mean, the cold is starting to steal the show here. 30 degrees. We have a few flurries with our very strong winds. You get the wind sustained at 13 all the way up to 30, 29 technically in Marshall, but that's a sustained wind. We're seeing wind gusts over 35. So let's look at the wind chills. Remember yesterday it was in the 50s to start off the day. Now it feels like 11 in Alexandria. 11 degrees. That's a winter, middle of winter type temperature. So grab your peak coats. It's going to be a warm one. I'm still in a warm one. Cold. It's going to be a cold one out there. Here's what it looks like right now. Still some flurries ongoing across the metro, but it is clearly winding down. That is good news for the roads. We did have a few slick spots earlier on here. We did see some slick roads in actually St. Cloud, Wade Park. They had some snow-covered roads. Looks like things are going to start to improve here as we go through the rest of the day. A couple of, this is calling it sprinkles, but I know they're flurries now. We will see breezy conditions. We'll bounce around the low 30s. Not going to be a warm day, but it does look like the heavier snow pockets are done. We'll track it all out. Look at your 7, 8 in a bit.
John, thank you. And today, the U.S. House Ethics Committee is meeting to discuss a final report on President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General Matt Gaetz. The report investigates allegations of sexual misconduct. Cece, I know we've seen a lot of Trump's allies actually backing Gaetz today.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day on Capitol Hill. Take a look at these new images into our newsroom. It shows Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and Matt Gaetz arriving on Capitol Hill just a few hours ago. Vance is there to rally support for Trump's selection for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and for Gaetz. Gaetz is there because the House Ethics Committee is meeting this afternoon to decide if they'll release a report about him. The report focuses, as we mentioned, on alleged sexual misconduct and illicit drug use that Gaetz denies. While President-elect Donald Trump is standing behind Gaetz, some lawmakers, both Democrat and Republican, want the committee to release the report to senators before the confirmation process.
It's critical. If his nomination is going forward, we want to make sure that we have access to the right documentation.
There needs to be legitimate vetting. When I say legitimate, I mean just thorough vetting that the committees do. This is our job. This is the role of advice and consent.
With those cabinet picks facing sharp criticism, Trump announced TV personality Dr. Oz is his choice to head the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Oz, who's faced criticism for promoting questionable medical advice, would work alongside HHS pick Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Trump also selecting former pro wrestling executive Linda McMahon as his pick for Education Secretary.
Cece, thank you. And now to some new details in our local news headlines. A Red Wing man is charged with second-degree murder in a deadly domestic shooting and standoff in Red Wing. Court documents say Daryl Nixon allegedly shot Andrea Broyld 10 times in an apartment. Officials say he then called 911 crying, and during the 3-hour standoff said that he killed Broyld. He eventually surrendered to police, and according to the complaint, Nixon's mother said he suffers from severe mental health issues. Well, police in St. Louis Park are asking for your help finding a man who they say grabbed at least 5 women on a trail. Officials say the incidents happened between mid-October and last week on the North Cedar Lake Regional Trail. The man they say they're looking for is about 5'7", in his late teens or early 20s, and he rode an electric scooter. A Dakota County neighborhood has become the target in a recent string of burglaries tied to dozens of cases nationwide. Here's what we know.
I'm Lou Ragoose. Police believe a string of recent burglaries in the affluent Dakota County city of Sunfish Lake is similar to those believed to be committed across the metro by a sophisticated high-end international ring. Court documents link together 60 cases across 12 other metro cities over the past year, in which the burglars used tools such as cell phone jammers while targeting high-end homes. A member of a Guatemalan ring has been convicted in one of those cases. Now, people living in Sunfish Lake are asked to be vigilant after 4 similar burglaries have been reported here since September.
The Hennepin County Board is delaying a vote on the sheriff's plan to cut down the inmate population in the county's jail. Sheriff DeWitt asked the board to approve $8 million for agreements with 21 other counties that would temporarily house those inmates. The Minnesota Department of Corrections has demanded that the Hennepin County Detention Center reduce its population to 600 inmates by December 5th. The board will reconsider the plan in a special meeting on December 3rd. In about 6 hours, families with students in the Robbinsdale area schools will have a chance to weigh in on what the district should do about a multi-million-dollar financial shortfall. Michelle Beck shows us what they're facing.
Here's the expensive task for Robbinsdale area schools, getting out of a budget shortfall of roughly $20 million. That's due to a math error the district's top leaders say they inherited. Robbinsdale schools overstated its resources when it counted state funding twice. So while it was set to cut about $17 million, it ended up cutting much less, roughly $3 million. And now the superintendent says she's looking at what to reduce to have the least impact on students. That could mean changing academic programs, closing buildings, and this.
Are staff cuts possible?
They're inevitable. 80% of our budget is people. If we have $20 million cuts in front of us, that's 10% of our budget, about 10% of our budget. So it's going to be inevitable that staff reductions are made.
And for transparency's sake, the district is hosting a town hall tonight at 6:30 at Cooper High School. Leaders say they invite all questions, feedback, and concerns. In the newsroom, Michelle Beck, KARE 11 News.
Right now, a staffing crisis is having a major impact on Minnesota nursing homes. Here's what we're seeing.
I'm Jennifer Hoff. The healthcare crisis across rural America just keeps growing. A new report out of Minnesota shows demand for long-term care for the elderly will only skyrocket over the next 20 years. The biggest hurdle then will be staffing shortages. Patients are also sicker, costs are increasing, and there are so few beds. Some counties now don't have any, including Red Lake County. Cass County only has 33 beds left, as other locations have to keep getting creative with recruitment, and some are even pushing for fewer barriers, including the new federal minimum staffing requirements.
Well, today is Transgender Day of Remembrance. Minnesota's Minclusive Employee Resource Group held a vigil in the Minnesota State Capitol Rotunda just a couple of hours ago. Several people spoke, including those affected by violence toward transgender people. The day began honoring the memory of Rita Hester, who was killed in 1998 in Boston, and continues for those lost since.
We're also following a few national weather updates, including a bomb cyclone moving through the Pacific Northwest. We know at least one person is dead and hundreds of thousands are without power. The strong winds and heavy snow have taken down trees and power lines. Most of the power outages are in Washington, with 650,000 customers in the dark. Several school districts are closed today, too. And when it comes to storms, we've already seen this year a new study shows climate change led to stronger hurricanes. A nonprofit climate research group called Climate Central says the warmer ocean increased the season's storms by 9 to 28 miles per hour. Researchers say Hurricane Milton wouldn't have reached Category 5 strength, and Hurricanes Debbie and Oscar would have never even reached hurricane levels. Looking back, the researchers say 84% of hurricanes between 2019 and 2023 were more intense because of climate change.
Target is expecting a surprisingly weak holiday shopping season. In a report today, the company says sales in the final quarter are expected to fall flat. Target serves as a symbol for consumer spending habits as a whole, which often relies on holiday shopping. And it comes as the middle-class customer base has been strained by higher prices overall. Experts say consumers have spent less on things like holiday decor, electronics, and non-essential clothing. We are getting a sneak peek at the designs for a new 6,000 square foot restaurant coming to Shakopee right next to the Canterbury Park. Boardwalk kitchen and bar and will be an American-style eatery and entertainment venue. It'll also offer live music and sports games. Additionally, the boardwalk will have an 18,000 square foot patio overlooking the racetrack. The restaurant is expected to be open in the spring.